War. War never changes, except on Wednesday. I'm Hellboy. Or however that famous phrase goes. Hello, it's Matt here, and I've got another unboxing for you this time. The most mysterious Pip-Boy edition of Fallout 4, which came out last week on a Tuesday, which is a very odd day to be releasing a video game. Surely it should be Mondays or Fridays. Pay attention, people. Anyway, yes, this was a very special edition that was a game exclusive here in the UK that gives you your very own working Pip-Boy, at least allegedly. It's not quite what people like me were thinking it would be or hoping it would be, but it's still pretty cool, I think. Spoilers, I kind of like this edition. But I thought I'd show you what's inside, sort of up close and personal sort of thing. So, the central conceit of this thing is that it is a box that's been given to you on your entry to Vault 111, or 111, or however they're talking about it in the game. And it's got your brand new Vault issue Pip-Boy in, as well as a copy of the game, but that's breaking immersion, let's not talk about that. So, let's have a look and see what's inside. Let's first of all have a look at the case. I've actually got it lying on its back to show you. And of course, we've got this rather immersion-breaking plastic sleeve on it, which, you know, it's there so they can sell it on the shelf of the shops they're not going to sell it in because it's a pre-order thing only, but shush. So we shall remove the sleeve. I hope that hasn't gone somewhere silly. And let's take a look at this beautiful... Okay, this beautiful chest. So, it's made of plastic, kind of hard-wearing plastic. But then again, this kind of fits in with the whole Fallout thing, you know, Bakelite and all that. It's got the Vault-Tec logo on there. It does say limited issues, and that's your kind of in-universe explanation for the limited edition. And then it says here, Personal Information Processor Pip-Boy for Vault 111 deployment. Serial number. And what you get here, it's opened by these little catches here, which, if I just pop those and then lift the top so you can see inside. So the first thing you'll see inside is, of course, a copy of the game. It is the... Oh, it's going to be a bugger and not come out now. That's what you get for putting things back in the box for you lot. It is the lovely Steelbook edition, which actually, when I pre-ordered this, maybe I just missed that part of the announcement, but I wasn't actually expecting it. So it is very pretty. Very pretty indeed. And then inside, along with the advert for the season pass, which in the case of Bathesda aren't normally as terrible as they are for everyone else, there's the game on Blu-ray. You get a little poster with all of the perks and things on, which I won't open up and show you because there are people avoiding spoilers and maybe they don't want to see that. And there is a condensed edition of the Vault Dweller's Survival Guide, which is basically an instruction manual, which is nice because in video games these days you don't seem to get them. So we'll pop that down over there. Just down there. Also on top there is the manual for your Pip-Boy, which will help you get it hooked up to your copy of the game. For this you will need an app. We'll go into that later. So if we take this off, let's have a look at the Pip-Boy itself. So a bit far away from the microphone there, sorry about that. Right, this is the Pip-Boy. Now, the first thing you'll notice is, with the exception of this rather heavy-duty clasp, it is made of plastic. And I've heard some complaints from some areas of fandom, oh, there's a bit of whatever that was, speck of dust there, that it should be metal. They feel a bit cheated given the cost of the Pip-Boy edition, which was $99.99, by the way, £20 deposit as well. Although you did get a bobblehead for that as well, so that was quite nice. This is actually a cardboard insert that's kind of a placeholder. And, right, oops, pinging the microphone, I always do that. So you've got flicky switches, like the real thing, and a little dial there. So I forget what this does in the game, but there is a little close-up of everything. Little thing there as well. It makes a lovely, pleasing noise. It makes you feel about 6, actually. But here's the thing, right? So people are saying it should be made of metal or whatever. In the universe, Bear in mind, this is supposed to be a brand new one. It's sort of the conceit of Fallout is it's like the 50s view of technology. So of course it's all going to be plasticized, bakelite, apart from the screen itself. There is a metal clasp, and then I'll just pop these out. We'll explain these in a moment. And then there is that actually, look, through the camera, that looks vaguely filthy. I'll leave that between you and whichever gods you do or do not worship. But there is, I mean, that's rubber, although it's, I'm not sure what it's meant to be in game, leather or something, maybe, probably just rubber, to be honest. And, yes, I mean, this is what it's supposed to be made of. And here's the thing. If you look at the model in game, because it does the Skyrim thing, if you've played the game, it does the Skyrim thing, that on the loading screens, you get an object from the game rotating round and round in front of the screen for you to look at. And the Pip-Boy in-game looks exactly like this. This is actually that's metal as well, by the way. This is actually a perfect replica. It even has a power light, which works. In fact, there's 2 power LEDs, there's one there as well. I will say, straight off the bat, there is no electronics, well, there are no electronics, I should say, inside this unit other than a watch battery-powered LED. This does not connect to your item by Bluetooth. The entire interface of the app that you use to make this a working Pip-Boy is touchscreen. But that's okay. That's okay, because actually, the idea is, apart from cosplay, I mean, they've clearly considered cosplayers. Of course they have. But apart from cosplay, to use it, have this on your wrist and use it while playing the game, you don't want to have to use 2 hands to do it when you've got to keep a hand on the controller, in case something happens, because you don't pause to use the quote-unquote real-life version. You don't bring the interface up. You can just use it in real time, which is kind of handy if you just want to blast a stim pack or something. So, where's the screen? Well, that's where your mobile phone goes, and that's what runs the app. And I will show you how we do all that in a minute, because I'm going to make this a full review. I'm actually going to show you how the whole thing works, good and bad. So, there it is there. But I'll keep hold of this, because also in the box... Oh no, it's eating me! Don't eat me, box! Is this lovely stand. So you can use it as a display piece, which is absolutely awesome. And I'll just kind of hold that up so you can see. Oops, see that there? Pip-Boy Model 3000 Mark IV, manufactured by Robco Industries for distribution by Vault-Tec Corp, not for civilian use, Robco logo. So it is it is an in-universe artifact again, which is really nice. So we'll pop that down here. And pop the Pip-Boy on it for a moment. And we'll just move the Pip-Boy box out of the way. Okay, so let's just pop this back in here. So, how does this thing work? Well, if we just remove the stand for a moment, have this like this. Okay, one undoes the clasp. One places it on their wrist. While the clasp is open, however, and not locked, because that also keeps the lid in place, we open up this. There's a little masking template there which goes to cover most of your phone screen. And, oops. Now, this is where we get into these little black things that I mentioned before. So let's pop that down. So, I've actually stored one of mine in there. But in order to ensure that your phone is a good fit, they have provided a number of these little pieces of rubber. This little foam even, which you see are labelled. Oops, if I can get these to focus. You're not going to focus, are you? Damn you, focus. Focus, camera, focus. There we go, ish. So that one says for iPhone and iPhone 6, Galaxy S5. Drop one on the floor. There's a thing there to protect. It's for protecting the rest of the screen. These little ones here. See, Galaxy S4. Oops. And then we've got these big foam pieces that push out. And you can see this one's for iPhones. And this one's for Galaxy phones and blah blah and blah blah blah. The whole point is, it gives you a piece of foam to make things fit rather better. I realise I'm rambling at this point. Shut up, that's why. I have previously tested this with my Galaxy S4, which is why this one is already detached. However, for purposes of demonstration today, I have this old Galaxy S3. Excuse me. I have this old Galaxy S3, so we are going to give this a look. So, you have to download an app. Now, I already have this Cyanogen mod, if anybody's wondering. So, we've got this unlocked, and if we run the Pip-Boy app, and this is what happens when it boots up. Which, if you played the game, is pretty much exactly how it boots up in-game. Isn't that awesome? So, you're given two options here. You can have full screen mode, so if you don't actually have the Pip-Boy to use with the app, you can still use the app. It's free to download, and you can just put this in full screen mode and pretend your phone is your Pip-Boy. Or it's hardware mode, which will make it work with the Pip-Boy thingamy. When I say work with, what I mean is it shrinks the screen so that it fits the tiny square area, because as you can see, it's supposed to be like an old 1950s kind of cathode tube screen, and it's more sort of squarish or 4x3ish than anything else. So we're just going to pop that to one side. Well, sorry, before we pop it to one side, you have to, get the right way up. You have to pick a mode. So we're going to pick hardware mode. As you can see, it's now only displayed just there. So we're just going to put that to one side. Now, I'm not going to cut away here. I'm actually going to show you in real time how you put this thing together, at least as best I can, working around the camera, so you can see how fiddly it can be. Now, I had a heck of a time with my S4, because the S4 is quite large, and I do actually have a larger battery in it with a special cover. So I had to dig out the old battery and sort it out. But then my dad, who is all things awesome, and a bit of a tech nerd like me, had this spare S3 and said I could have it. So, we're effectively doing this from scratch. So, I believe it was Foam Thing 3, which is use the outer phone ring only. So, we're just going to... It's kind of loosely attached, as you can hear, and you just kind of snap the foam off. Now, I wouldn't try to wrap this around the phone before you put the phone in, because I've tried that and it's really fiddly and it never really works properly. So instead I'm going to pop that thing in there. I am going to silence. Of course, it might be an idea to do this while the phone's off, and if I'd thought about it ahead of time, maybe that's exactly what I would have done, but hey, who cares? Silence. Right, next. Okay, and we also want to... Okay, so we now want to close this down, like so. And, oh, bugger off. There we go. So, it wants us to expand the screen to fit the screen. Oh, I tell you what, I forgot to do something. And now my phone is rebooted. This is awesome. Okay, we're back from our jump cut. Okay, so at this point, I've been recording for about 35 minutes, because it's taken forever to get the damn thing into the device, and this is part of the problem that I want to illustrate. It's just not practical for everyday use. The idea is that you use your phone in here, you know, your device, your Apple device, or your Android device, or your Windows mobile device, but of course, that means that you're going to want to take it out and use it for the thing it's actually for, being a phone or an iPod or what have you. And it's so fiddly. Basically, in order to make sure it's a snug fit and it's not going to rattle around and get damaged, you need to use a piece of foam. It comes with several. And you put that piece of foam in. You don't wrap it around the phone before you put it in, because otherwise you can't get the damn thing in the thing at all. You have to pop this in and then sort of squeeze the phone into it, at which point buttons get pressed. That phone reset itself several times because the power button was being pressed. It's really a bit of a nightmare. Once you've done that, you'll have something, a little mask. There's a couple of them in the box, but that looks like this. And that is designed to go over to mask the bits of the phone that poke through, so it looks like a proper Pip-Boy, which again, for aesthetics, is great, but getting this on top, and it's all bulging and whatnot, and it's just a pain in the arse. And then finally, you've got to kind of somehow get the lid down, and this is all while this thing is, it wants you, it to be on your arm while you do this. It's a pain in the arse. But anyway, once you've got all this gone, in there, we just tell it which console we've got. It does a little scan, it finds my PS4, and it connects. So there we go. So this is my, if I hold this up and make sure this focuses. Focus, please. Come on, you know you want to. Just get in there. There we go. So this is actually connected to my game, so we can see my inventory, which is kind of piss poor at the moment. I can scroll through my... it's in view mode. This is because it's paused. This is the thing, right. So if I unpause the game, now when I tap things... Okay, you can't see the screen, but my... Oops. You can't see the screen, but my character just equipped that, so you can see that that's... There we go. And the same for apparel and whatnot. You can just check your missions and whatnot there. It's all fully animated, as you can see. And you can check where you are on the map. And all of this runs in real time, so my character you won't be able to see, but my character is currently running around the map, and that is what's going on. So it's a really cool little thing, but the app doesn't need the Pip-Boy to do this, but of course the effect, as you can see, is rather pretty. So that is the Pip-Boy. It will go on your arm. Shall I see if I can get it on my arm to demo it? Bearing in mind that it's just taking me 35 minutes to even get the bloody phone in the thing, but alright. Let's see if we can get this, this sucker on. Yes, beware if you've got fat arms. There's an adjustable strap if you've got skinny arms, but if you've got fat arms, basically just pray and kind of get it sandwiched on there like a medical device. And of course you're doing this one-handed, which is ridiculously tricky. There we go. Right, so that sucker's on my arm, so you can... No, the sucker's not quite on my arm. This must be really interesting for you people at home. Right, there we go. That sucker's on my arm. Let's have a look. Right. So, let's reach under the... How the hell are we going to do this? Oh, it's a bit tricky. There we go. This is what it actually... Can I zoom out on this way? There we go. This is what it actually looks like on my wrist. It does look pretty cool. And it's running and all of that, and it does sound effects and whatnot. This video is somewhat of a disaster, but I think that's what highlights the issues with this device, because, like I say, it's completely impractical. The idea is that you're supposed to wear this and play Fallout 4 whilst using your Pip-Boy, and that's a nice kind of idea, but it's completely irritating. For cosplay purposes, this is awesome. If you're going to cosplay as a Vault Dweller, and I'm sure a lot of people are, once again, now that Fallout 4's on, it's a lovely thing to have with lots of lovely tactile twisty knobs. And the app even has a demo mode, so you don't need to be connected to the to an actual running game. It can display things for you, which is kind of cool. You'll notice it's flashing view mode there, by the way, which again is what it does when you pause the game, so you can't actually affect any changes, but otherwise any changes are in real time, which is kind of cool. But yes, this is the... Oops, let's put that back. This is the pain in the arse Pip-Boy. A gorgeous thing to display, but maybe not such a gorgeous thing for actual practical use as designed. Anyway, so that is the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition, and my really rambling, really shit video. Let's pop you over there. Yes, so yes, there you go, Pip-Boy and stuff, and yes, well worth £100? Actually, for my money, yes. Yes, it genuinely is. You know, when you think that that money went into... Oh, what's this? This little cardboardy thing. When you think that that money went into the development of the app, it went into, you know, the casting of thing. Yes, it's a lovely little collector's piece, and this is obviously a far more accurate, far better Pip-Boy than the alarm clock version that came with Fallout 3. So, yeah, I am really pleased with that. I appreciate why people wouldn't be, but at the same time, it does look like, you know, it does look the way it's supposed to look in the game. So, there we are. I'm going to stop rambling now, and, yeah,